Step into our studio where laughter fills the air. Glaze combinations and fun secrets we'll share. Todd's crafting with his slabs. Watch the clay take shape. With a silly grin, he's making something great. Our creations spring to life in every way. Todd and Kim brighten up your day. Clay and laughter hand in hand. Join the fun, it's truly grand.
Hi my pottery friends. So I've been asked how in detail I do my peaches and cream, raspberry parfait, emerald isle mugs. So I thought might as well just do a little glaze tutorial because it's kind of hard to explain. So first of all, depending on what I'm glazing, if I'm doing glazes with kimchi and sangria, I find they blister for me, so I put Flux Blossom underneath, and I use Flux Blossom so I don't get so I don't lose the pinkish hue. You just do a coat of Flux Blossom around the middle. If you don't have problems with blistering, then you would just do a coat around the middle like that. But because I have issues with blistering, I am going to go everywhere where the kimchi or sangria is going to go, and just one coat. These are the cute little birdhouses Todd made. I love them. And all right, so that's it. And then I'll show you what I do on a mug for the first coat. So I like to do a bit of a wavy pattern. Oh, and these are my issues. Take that all the way up. I used to try to, for the longest time, I was just determined to figure out why my kimchi and sangria blisters, but then I just decided, hey, it works if you do honey flux or Flux Blossom underneath one coat. So I just gave up. And that's what I do. All right, so I will do that on all the pieces and then I'll be back. I got all the glaze done with the Flux Blossom. This birdhouse is going to be done in Emerald Isle, so it'll have the powdered turquoise on the top, so it will get one coat of honey flux around the middle. You don't put anything underneath the powdered turquoise. That's it. Very random. And then we will go back over all the other pieces. with light flux. So this has the Flux Blossom on it. I'm only going to do light flux where that middle band is going to be. And like I said, if you don't have problems with kimchi, then you're just going to cover the honey flux that you painted in the middle. So it'll look like that. So sometimes I get asked why I do honey flux or Flux Blossom plus light flux. So I used to only do light flux, but I was getting some blister issues, and I just found that honey flux underneath light flux stabilizes it with my clay body. So if you don't have any issues, then go ahead and just do light flux. And the two of them together, also it's, I don't know why, but it's a nice white glaze. So I think you just find something that works and you do it. So that is the method to my madness. There might be easier ways or quicker ways. I would have given up on sangria and kimchi long ago, but I bought gallon jugs of it. So when I'm using kimchi or sangria, I paint the inside of the mug as well, just to use it up. I think I went with that. All right, now we will do kimchi first. If you ever want good glaze brushes, I get these off of Amazon. I'll try to find them and link them in the description. They're just cheap and work great. Bit of water to my kimchi. So I'm going to overlap about 1/2 inch where the light flux is. See what I'm doing there. This also gives you an idea of how thick or how saturated my brush is when I glaze. So it's a nice thick coat. All right, so that's the first coat, and then for the mugs, same thing. Just cover up overlap the light flux by about 1/2 inch. I just do one coat in and around the joints of the handle. Otherwise, if you get too thick around your handle, you can have some of that bubbling. So we just try to keep that part thin. And then all my other glaze combinations get white on the inside, except for the two I'm trying to use at my kimchi. And then when I do run out, I'll probably be sad because it does make really pretty mugs. But I think then I would just pick a different color, like fuzzy peach or bougainvillea or something that gives similar look without blistering issues. And then you do a second coat. So you could really use any glaze as your top color for this combination. I think blues would be nice. Red even. Do the same type of combination for our seaside glaze, our mint chip glaze, lavender with the lavender mist. What else do we do? Don't really do the red this way, but you could. Actually, I should try. That might be really pretty. And then my winterwood glaze is a pour-on glaze. So after we get done this hand painting, then the rest is really easy. And the texture turquoise is also a pouring dipping glaze. I also did a birdhouse with the Sangria. I didn't do any mugs, just a birdhouse. So just 2 coats of glaze with the kimchi and the Sangria on this one. Clarify. 2 coats of kimchi on the peaches and cream combination and 2 coats of Sangria on the raspberry parfait. So now we'll let these dry and we will do the birdhouse with the turquoise, power turquoise next, because it's dry and ready to go. So I just have a bucket of power turquoise. I'm just gonna stir it really, really good. I use a toilet brush to stir my glazes. When you think you have it all stirred up, then stir for another 2 or 3 minutes. That is something I heard another potter recommend. And then I'm just gonna dip the birdhouse. So I'm gonna dip it so that it covers about 1/2 inch of the Honey Flux, Light Flux. So yeah, and I let it sit a little bit longer than normal. I find power turquoise likes to be thick. So sometimes I will let that dry and then just dip again. But I think we're pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna need to. So if you were hand painting, I would do 3 coats of powder turquoise. Now we're gonna put winter wood on the bottom part of the mug. So same thing, you're gonna overlap the Honey Flux Light Flux by about 1/2 inch. But it can be random. We're just gonna pour it on. Hopefully you saw what I did. I have a little measuring cup of water that I use for winter wood, and then I don't use wax. And when the water gets really gross, I just add it to the glaze bucket, or when I need to thin out the glaze, that's what I use, that water. So that's it, that is done. And then I just want to check and make sure inside the handle area that there's no holes. So if there is a hole or something, I'll take a needle tool and smooth that out. Maybe add a little bit of light flux so that you don't have the bare clay. But yeah, that's it for the mug. I'll just do the birdhouse. This is a little bit more awkward. So yeah, it just saves having to wax the bottom. So if you're hand painting your winter wood, I would do 2 coats. And if you have lots of crystals, you can always use, in your winter wood, you can always use alabaster. 1 coat and then 2 coats of winter wood. But I would probably just do 2 coats of winter wood. So yeah, that is it. Here they are out of the kiln. This was the one that I glazed with powder turquoise. And this is one with the kimchi. They turned out so cute. And the kimchi mug. And lastly, this was the sangria one that we glazed, and you can still see the flowers showed through that glaze combination. Thanks for joining me for this glaze tutorial. Let me know if there are other glaze combinations you would like me to show, or if you found this interesting or helpful. One more I was thinking of showing how I do is this combination. I've had several people ask me to show how to glaze that, so perhaps that'll be the next one. And yeah, remember, if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe, and yeah, don't be shy, leave a comment. I love all the comments.